One thing that's put theater and the performing arts apart from other aspects of entertainment is on the horrifying truth that things will go wrong. There will always be something that can and will go wrong in theater, whether that's a forgotten line, a voice crack, someone falling on stage, something catching on fire on stage, and that's okay. There's always the next performance, the next song, the next scene, and you just have to keep going forward in the show. Theater's meant to mess up, and that's what makes it so entertaining. Humans mess up, machines mess up, everything messes up. These words have gotten me through a lot more than just a show. I was born April 6, 2000, in Prescott Valley, Arizona. My older brother Ryan was born 2 years before me. My younger brother Caleb was born in 2002, and my little sister was born in 2004. A few months after my younger sister was born, my younger brother Caleb got really sick and was taken to 3 different hospitals. He was then helicopter flown into Phoenix Children's Hospital, where he was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes when he was 2. I don't really know life without diabetes in my family because I was only 4 when he got diagnosed. Our family got really involved with the American Diabetes Association right when he got diagnosed. Caleb, being the poster child of a poor kid never knowing life without diabetes, they took him in and made him a key person in the program. It was always kind of cool seeing him in front of people on TV and with town celebrities.
Nobody's right if everybody's wrong.
When I was about 5, we moved from Prescott over to Chandler, and I started attending CTA Liberty right in front of my house. When I was in 2nd grade, another problem hit my family. My older brother Ryan was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes too. Having 2 siblings diagnosed without any genetic history is extremely uncommon. At this point, I was the only brother without diabetes. Ryan and Caleb became very active in the ADA, and I started joining in with them. I became very comfortable being on stage, and I fed off the energy of the crowd. Then I discovered my first passion, theater. I joined my school's choir in 4th grade. Interestingly enough, I joined because my music teacher promised the boys that if we joined, we would get to play with swords in the production of The Nutcracker. Me being the sword-loving kid I was, I immediately signed in. I ended up getting casted as a principal as Fritz and wasn't able to play part of that scene. To this day, I've never done bladed combat on stage. I ended up being in other shows like It's a Small World, Schoolhouse Rock, and High School Musical as Troy Bolton. These shows sparked my thrill of acting and performing even more. Sadly, my junior high had no theater program, but that didn't keep me from being on stage. I ended up becoming a competitive break dancer with Sass Dance Boys Crew and took a few classes there. I also discovered a new love, the United States Navy. I ended up at the christening of the Arizona Pearl Harbor Memorial in 2013 and found the United States Naval Sea Cadet Corps. I realized that joining the military was what I was going to do with my life. I joined in the March of 2014. A few months later, my body felt different. On July 10th, 2014, I was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. Type 1 diabetes is an automatic disqualification of any military service. This was devastating to me. I ended up not going to my recruit training for an entire year, making me a full 2 promotions behind of what I should have been. This was probably the worst kind of change I've had to make in my little show called life. Entering high school was a real challenge for me. I took some theater, but I was still certain on joining the Navy no matter what. I spent most of my time with the Sea Cadets, but I still dabbled in theater a bit.
Those walls had to be guarded by men with guns. Now, who's going to do it? You, Lieutenant Weinberg. I have a greater responsibility than you can possibly fathom. You weep for Santiago and you curse the Marines. You have that luxury. The luxury of the blind. The luxury of not knowing what I know. That Santiago's death, while tragic, probably saved lives. And my existence, while grotesque and incomprehensible to you, saves lives.
I was a part of my first Senior Director 1 act because of you freshman year, and You Can't Take It With You sophomore year. While this happened, I was going hard charger in the Sea Cadets. I attended my recruit training at RTC Great Lakes, the actual U.S. Navy boot camp. There, I was A-Rock, where my main job was to sing cadence to a 75-person large formation from the rear. That's where I definitely got my loud voice from. I also attended search and rescue training and interned at a recruiting station over on the west side of the valley. By the end of my sophomore year, I was the leading petty officer of my battalion. I also helped out with a small group called Kids of Honor and Respect, where I taught 4 to 7-year-olds how to do color guard.
Arms. Order. Arms. Port. Arms. Order. Not yet. Order. Arms.
When junior year came around, I started realizing that I needed to stop thinking about the impossible and looking towards my future. I joined Perry Theater Company, the competitive theater class at Perry, and I did a couple more shows here, including 12th Night and Mary Poppins. By the end of my junior year, I have completely left the Sea Cadets, retiring as a Petty Officer 2nd Class, leading Petty Officer, and Color Guard Commander of Veterans Private Battalion. I left all my friends and everything to dedicate my whole time to theater. The summer of my senior year was one for the books. I attended the International Thespian Festival and auditioned for more than 50 of the top theater colleges in America. Watched numerous amazing high school shows and met theater kids from around the world. I was offered scholarships from $5,000 a year to $16,000 a year. This was where I decided theater was what I was going to do in my future. Afterwards, I attended the Arizona Thespians Leadership Camp, where I was appointed State Thespian Officer of Arizona Thespians. As a State Thespian Officer, I have worked for Arizona Thespians with the State Thespian Conference, Junior Festival, and this year's Leadership Camp. This year I performed in shows like 13, the musical, White Christmas, and Mesa Encore Theater's Beauty and the Beast. As my youth goes to a close, I've realized how much I've grown through what's happened in my life. Just like theater, things go wrong, stuff happens. No matter what, there's always a new day, a new week, a new month, a new scene, a new song, a new show to look forward to. I will be attending Mesa Community College in the fall and getting my associates in musical theater while still trying to perfect my craft in other shows throughout the valley. These past 18 years of my life, I've learned one thing. No matter what, happiness is what you make of it, and your life is what you make of it. Whether you go out and do what you thought you were going to do all your life, or what you're going to do in your life comes to you. But no matter what, you got to keep going forward, and the show must go on.